Define objectives. You want to begin with the end in mind. I know this term is used over and over and over again, but really reverse engineering has a lot to be said for it. The great thing about your dental web marketing program is how easy it is to measure results. So if you say that the marketing program isn't working, it's only valid, it's not a valid assessment unless you've actually defined what quote unquote what working actually means. And so you're going to have to actually define the objectives that you want. Some people, I'll give you an example. Some people define success, and when we talk about defining objectives, that's exactly what we're talking about. Some people define success, as an example, maybe a blogger, by how many people actually maybe comment on a particular blog post or click on a particular link, things like that. I think for you, ultimately, and I think you'll agree, the bottom line, the primary objective that we're going to look at, obviously there's lots of mini objectives that we use, and we need to clearly define those. Time on a page, number of views, all those things are critical, but ultimately for us, I think the prime definition we're going to actually take a look at, that we're going to be most concerned with, is how many new patients. Let me define that one. Quality new patients. We're not just looking for people who are looking for some sort of free bonus or some sort of, reduced service opportunity because, they have to come to the dentist because they want a teeth cleaning or whatever it is. We want quality new patients, and so ultimately the primary objective we're going to be defining, we're going to be shooting for, is quality new patient appointments that are driven in specifically as a result of your internet marketing strategy. So your dental web marketing program's ability to generate quality new patients for your practice, and we're going to actually want to know what those goals are. And so you have to create them, and in order for them to actually become real and to exist, you have to write them down. Whether that means writing them out by hand or typing them, really doesn't matter. I like the idea of writing things and saving it on a computer, because now you can access it and there's a lot less chance you're going to end up losing it or spilling coffee on it or something like that, or your dog or your kids getting to it. So a quick question. The goal is to generate quality new patient appointments, as we said, but also it's to improve your case acceptance ratio, your rate, the rate at which people say yes to your recommendations for treatment. And then on top of that, we also want to be able to measure, because this is really important, your ability to retain your existing patients and generate referrals. So you have to ask yourself, when you're going to define your objectives, are you aiming to expand into a new niche of patients? So have you picked up a new CEREC machine, and now you want to start to target same-day crowns? So that would be a new niche that you might be going into. You might want to approach. You've gone through some certification, some training. Now you might now want to start targeting dental sleep medicine or sleep apnea patients. So you have to actually first decide on the niches that you want to actually target. Okay, and not just the niches, but the goals that you want to measure and objectively measure, and then also try to improve. Another thing you might be looking to do is establish joint venture relationships, quality joint venture relationships, or actually improve or increase the number that you have. Well, what's a joint venture partner? What's a joint venture relationship? Just real simply, quick example: you might do a joint venture, a joint venture partnership with a chiropractor. And whether you like chiropractors or not is irrelevant. For the sake of our discussion, just real quickly, I mentioned that. Let's say that when you do a joint venture, and there's a lot of different ways to do joint ventures. Let's say that you want to actually do a joint venture with someone for the purpose of cross referral. So if you ask yourself, what type of business owner, what type of professional person who's not a direct competitor of mine would have patients, clients, or customers in their business or their practice that could seamlessly flow into my practice, and I would consider them to be ideal new patients in my dental practice. So if you look at a chiropractor, not just any chiropractor might work. You might want a chiropractor who's got a really high volume, successful practice, and their patients are cash. And And there's a reason for that. That's a real good one for you to target. And here's why: because chiropractic patients who are paying cash are typically paying they're paying higher fees. So you're pre-qualifying these people to the extent that you know they can afford what you want to provide to them in the way of services. You know that they're not averse to paying out of pocket. And how often do you have a patient say, well, ask you a question, does my insurance cover this, or how much of this is my insurance going to cover? Or even worse, you get a request for records because one of your patients is actually going to another dentist because, quote unquote, you're no longer on their insurance. So a joint venture partner, and that's why I spend a little bit of time on this particular topic in this slide, is really important to your success, because it's really one of the fastest ways to get quality new patient traffic into your dental practice. And certainly finding these people online is the fastest and easiest way to do that. All right, so when you go through this process, when you're defining your objectives, you're kind of feeling this process out, you're going to experience failure and you're going to also experience success. Internet marketing is forever an ongoing experiment. What works today, I can assure you, will probably not work as well next year this same time. It really does happen faster than that, but the whole idea is to be constantly testing, tweaking, and see if you can improve on your process, so that you might actually come to a conclusion about what your outcomes are that gives you clarity. Something else I might also suggest, you might be listening to this or watching this video and say, well, listen, I don't have time to do all this. Another case in point, why you need a certified dental marketing assistant. At the end of this particular video, I'll give you some information on how you can find out more information about the only certification program in the entire dental industry for producing dental marketing assistants that are actually certified. These are highly trained, highly capable individuals. And if you've already got a dental assistant, this is certainly a program. It's an online training program, although we do have live events. There are online training. It's primarily online training. Certification, the whole process is online, kind of at their own speed, different levels in the training program, so we'll get to that at the end of the video. But just suffice it to say, you don't have to do all these things yourself. You can have someone do the work for you. And having your own dental marketing assistant is really, really cool, because of the fact it's much cheaper to pay a dental assistant, I don't know, whatever you pay them, 10, 15 bucks an hour, than it is to pay even someone like me. I'm getting paid $1,000 an hour. And so, if you've got a dental marketing assistant who has been trained by us and certified, who can do a lot of what we do, not all of it, but a lot of the stuff that you would otherwise have to pay us or another dental marketing company to do, why would you want to do it? Why would you want to pay that much? You're in business to make a profit on purpose, and so as a result of that, it might be something you want to consider. A dental marketing assistant might be something you want to consider as you get further along.